The agreement won't take away any sovereign rights of our nation, of any nation. It's not going to allow anyone to change our laws other than the United States Congress. Rest assured, with the TPP in place, we will retain our ability to protect our clean air and water, regulate our economy, and uphold all of the laws of our nation.
Okay. Try to recall the last time Democrats were hard-edged to smack down President Barack Obama and Republicans were undergoing a mini rebellion in their own ranks on whether to fight or switch on the same issue. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is more than just another trade deal passing in the night, and some have called it the most secretive and harmful trade treaty in world history. Enough hyperbole. The political animal begins with this and more. From the right, GOP strategist from Hamilton Place Strategies Inside the Beltway, Matt McDonald. And from the left, Democratic strategist, former Deputy Staff Secretary to President Bill Clinton, David Goodfriend. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Be here.
David, I'm going to start with you because it seems even the Democrats are against the president on this one. And I even hear a lot of people on the left going, we really don't even know what's in this. And the president is just looking to fast track and get away with something. Why are the Democrats even upset about this?
Well, you say even the Democrats. I would say especially the Democrats are against this deal. In the House of Representatives, the vast majority of Democrats are against the deal currently. At least that's what they're telling the whip counters. And in the Senate, the Democrats banded together to help kill the first attempt at passing TPP. They acquiesced on the second attempt. This is definitely an issue of division and disagreement within the Democratic Party. And I think it really comes down to this. Many Americans, working class Americans, feel like the deck is just stacked against them. And when they hear that there's a secret process, that the vast majority of permitted advisors are paid for by corporate interests, they suspect that this is really a bad deal for working class Americans because they see what happened after NAFTA when we lost 2 million jobs and we really didn't get the benefit of the doubt that was cast by my former boss, Bill Clinton. And I think there's a lot of suspicion here that boils down to a bad process leading to perceived bad results.
Matt, why is it that then we would find absolutely no shock from the right that there's a secret process going on here from Barack Obama that has to be just one more thing, you put it down and go up, one more thing that we don't know about?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it's not, on the right, it's not necessarily a revolt against trade the way it is on the left. It's more a continuation of the fundamental distrust of the president on issues like this and what he's going to do. And you see the president's focus in the second term on legislating by regulation and by rules and that sort of thing, and that leaves a bad taste in the right. But it's a really interesting change of positions where up is down and left is right, where you see, and I think part of what you see is a little bit of sorting out in the Democratic side of what happened in the last two midterms, where the party is just much more liberal in Congress than it has been in the past, and as a result, that kind of pro-business model that President Bill Clinton had in the 90s, just it's not the political model for the Democratic Party today. Let's
move over then to Obamacare and the fallout if indeed SCOTUS does wipe out the insurance for millions of people covered by the Affordable Health Care Act. And I guess I throw to you first, Matt, because there's a lot of talk that the Republican governors across the country are right now running a little scared because they're afraid if this does happen, what are they going to do? Because people are going to look at Republicans and say, you're the reason why we don't have health care.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a challenge and has been a challenge for the party for some time, and that goes to the fundamental issue, which is that you can't just be against something, you have to be for something, right? And so this is going to be the chance when, if the Supreme Court does strike down that component of the law, this will be a chance for people to show either they have a plan and they are for something, or it's just been political talk, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, David, on the other side of this, freshman Senator Bill Cassidy says, we have a plan. We're all set. This is going to be our moment here. So, hey, maybe the right does have a plan, and they're saying, bring it on. We'll make you guys look bad in the process.
Well, I have a lot of fellow Democrats who actually bemoaned the enactment of the Affordable Care Act, not because they disagreed with the statute, but because they said from now on, any healthcare problems are going to be owned by us, the Democrats. Well, just suppose this scenario you spelled out happens, where the Supreme Court vacates a significant part of the statute. Republicans then pass a fix, if you will, And now Republicans own it too. It's like Colin Powell saying, you break it, you own it. It's going to be owned by both parties. And maybe that's a good thing. I mean, it should be, in fact, a bipartisan approach from the outset. But I don't think this is a silver bullet for the Republicans. It's complicated. If the Supreme Court overturns enough of the act such that it renders it not functional, and the Republican Congress has to answer in kind, you are going to have to acknowledge that all the Republican presidential candidates are going to have to answer to that. All Republicans running for re-election are going to have to answer to that. And it's not exactly, I think it's not exactly where the Republican Party wants to be right now. They'd rather be pointing at us and saying, any problem you got with your health insurance, blame those guys.
Everybody wants to point at everybody else. That's the way Washington works. All right, 30 seconds, quick answer from you both. Bernie Sanders says he thinks Hillary Clinton's wealth could isolate her from the concerns of working class voters. What do you think, David?
Well, I think it's not going to sell very well because I think Hillary Clinton has such overwhelming support from such a wide swath of the Democrats voting in these primary states. Bernie Sanders is a great guy. I really like him, and I like what he stands for, and I think what he says is important. I wish, however, what he would do is stick to the issues and not attack Hillary. You know, Republicans attack Hillary when they think that she's beaten them on the issues.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders shouldn't do that.
I got to stop you there. Matt, 15 seconds to you.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the underlying issue that Hillary's going to have, both connecting with voters and with the fundamental trust issue that was an issue 8 years ago when she and President Obama were running, and it's still an issue today.
It's an issue that is not going to go away, and I think that Bernie Sanders is the guy who's going to make sure that it doesn't go away. He wants to see if he can sway a couple of voters his way. Matt McDonald, David Goodfriend, thanks so much for joining us, gentlemen. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, stay with us because this is the fastest 60 minutes of news. The Hard Line continues.